We turn to the international papers. Nick Rushworth is here with us on set as ever. Nick, you're starting off with talking about Iowa Tuesday.
Iowa Tuesday indeed, and the flurry of activity as the US political season gets into top gear. The Chicago Sun-Times has a comment piece by none other than the Reverend Jesse Jackson, twice a candidate for the Democratic presidential nomination, of course. Now, he argues, well, hey, it's no wonder Republicans are having a hard time warming to this raft of candidates, because each one on offer embraces an extreme right-wing agenda that would make Ronald Reagan look like a liberal. Jackson says the main Republican challengers want to get working families to pay for Wall Street's mess.
Sticking with Chicago, you've seen a piece in the UK paper, The Independent. This is about Obama's preparations as the Republicans hammer it out.
Well, Obama is the elephant in the room in this Iowa Tuesday, because everything's focused on the Republican candidates. But this is great news for Obama himself. And there you can see in The Independent there, inside Obama's Chicago machine, 200 people are beavering away there in downtown Chicago. Now, they believe the Republican selection process could last till June. That will give them plenty of time to build their candidate up. Their mission, though, the paper argues, is not a done deal, Stuart. It points out that the history books show that the unemployment rate alone now, as it stands, normally in the past, would have been enough to doom a president like Mr. Obama.
The name that we keep hearing a lot more about nowadays is Rick Santorum. He sort of appeared from nowhere almost, doesn't he?
Indeed, and will he be there at the end? It's hard to say, but at this point, attention is focusing on him, a Rick Santorum surge. I turn to the Atlantic, which is asking, who is Rick Santorum? And it came out with several observations, three of which struck me. One of them is pretty incredible. This one, how about this? He has said in the past, in 2003, that same-sex marriage could open the door, and I quote, to man on child and man on dog relationships. Can you believe that? And then also he's saying that the influence of radical feminism is to blame for the reason women are choosing to stay out of the home and work in the office. And then the third, another gem, what about this? He's called contraception harmful to women.
People will still vote for him, though. I mean, that's almost the amazing thing, isn't it? To Syria, something completely different. Violence continuing unabated despite the presence of the Arab League.
Well, the L'Orient Le Jour, the French paper, not French paper, the Lebanese paper in French. Now, it's saying the Arab League has called for a complete end to sniper fire in Syria. And on that front page, it's quoting the Arab League Secretary General, Nabil al-Arabi, who is saying snipers are still a threat in towns and cities. And also on that front page there is a quote by the Israeli Defense Minister, Ehud Barak, who has said the Assad family have just a few weeks left in power. Now, one of the strong things I saw this morning that I found very interesting was a piece in the Gulf News by Sami Mubayed. He's editor-in-chief of Forward magazine in Damascus. Now, he says that public opinion on the street is divided in Syria about this observer mission. On the one hand, you've got people saying it's a fabricated theatrical stunt. It's a stitch-up between the Arab League and the Assad regime. Others, though, on the street in Syria are saying, well, hey, could these observers actually be hiding behind some of the niceties, the word reassuring and so on, before they reveal a punchy report next month heavily critical of Assad?
We wait and see, we wait and see. Something completely different now that you've pulled out. This is to do with the higher price of gold, which of course has been going up and up, and the higher price of gold facials in Thailand.
Total contrast to Syria, of course. There you can see the picture in the Wall Street Journal Europe on its off-the-wall slot there. And it's saying that, well, for $200 you can get that facial. The upsurge in demand is, the paper says, because rich Thais are looking for ways to spend their cash after their investments in Europe and the United States have gone flat. And it turns out Thais believe gold can help heal scars. One customer says, the effects last longer. It's really useful after a weekend at the beach, Stuart. Now, talk about lifestyles. We don't have that, do we?
No, I think I'd put one on, leave it on. I think that would be a bit more impressive than this ugly mug, wouldn't it? All right, Nick, thank you very much. Nick Rushworth there with the papers here on France 24.